This is Brett Waltemath of Star Watch Media here in East Hampton, New York for the 19th annual Hamptons International Film Festival. Brett Waltemath of Star Watch Media here with Martin Donovan, director, writer, and star of Collaborator, pardon me. Now, first of all, can you please discuss a little bit about the film with us and a little bit about your character in the film?
Sure. It stars, I play one of the leads opposite the very talented David Morse and Olivia Williams. Catherine Hellman is also in it. Eileen Ryan, Julian Ritchie, Vivian Lenko. It's the story of a guy, a playwright who was once very successful, maybe the voice of his generation, who's now middle-aged and hit a brick wall. Creatively, he goes home to check in on his elderly mother in the house that he grew up in. Longtime neighbor across the street, who's a little bit older than him but grew up with him, has taken a different life trajectory, and through kind of bizarre circumstances takes my character, I play the playwright, hostage in my childhood home. That's sort of the start of how things take off and the fun begins.
Now, this film had its world premiere at the, pardon me if I mispronounce this, the Karlovy Vary International International Film Festival in the Czech Republic. What just led to not only having the world premiere in the Czech Republic, but at this film festival specifically?
What is the question?
What kind of led to having the world premiere of your film not only in the Czech Republic, but at this film festival specifically?
Well, we were trying to find the right place to launch the film. Karlovy Vary saw the film and absolutely embraced it, and so it just was, the timing was such that we said, okay, let's go there and see what happens there. And the reaction was absolutely overwhelming. This was my first film. This was the premiere of my first film. We had a theater full of 1,500 people, and we got a standing ovation. David Morse won Best Actor, and we topped the audience poll, and we won the International Critics Prize.
Congratulations.
So it was a nice way to start. I was blown away by that. And then we've just now started doing the circuit, and Hamptons is our second festival in the U.S. And I'm thrilled to be here. I like being out here. The last time I was out here, I was installing draperies, so in the 1980s. So I'm now back here with my own film, and that's a nice narrative to have. The audiences are really well educated out here. The audience last night was very engaged by the film and really embraced it. And I love to have the conversation. I love doing these festivals. It's the only, the festival circuit is what is keeping the independent film thing going, because the market has pretty well died. It's collapsed in terms of the old model. There are a lot of new models that are emerging, economically speaking, but in the meantime, the festivals are where educated audiences who are passionate about film still show up to find interesting films that may not be getting the distribution or may not be seen at your multiplex. And it's just inspiring to see that people still want this kind of film, this more challenging kind of stuff. So it's very exciting.
Now, Collaborator has been described as a comedy drama, but you have best described it as a tragic comedy.
Actually, the programmers at Karlovy Vary dubbed it a tragic comedy.
Yes, and you loved that.
I love it. That's perfect. It is definitely a comedy. The laughter can really, a good audience is when they're laughing their heads off through parts of it, and I really love that. But it is a tragedy as well. So. It's very hard to define this film or pitch it. It doesn't really fall into any genre, which is why distributors are scratching their heads, because it's hard for them to sell it. But I've seen this now with enough audiences to know that it plays very well, and I really, I just want to get it out there. We will get it out there.
Was that a goal for you in writing in the pre-production stage as well as in production, for it not to necessarily fit the mold of one specific genre?
I simply sat down to try to write for the first time, really, and it was just the task of writing was a huge challenge for me, but that was what was driving me. I wanted to write something honest and human, and I didn't know where it was going to go. I had some ideas, and I quickly found that the process of writing it really is about sitting down and doing the writing. If you can actually sit down and start writing and keep writing, stuff will emerge from the subconscious that you hadn't anticipated, and things start to flow. It's just the difficulty, as any writer will tell you, and I don't even consider myself a writer, but simply because I got one screenplay done. Writers would tell you that it's all about that steely discipline of not giving up and keep going and draft after draft after draft, and polish, whatever you're writing. But it's all in the subconscious, and everybody has it. It's all there. The life experience is there. What you want to say is there. You just have to get yourself to a space to allow it to come out.
You said that early on in your career as an actor that you had a lot of difficulty watching yourself on screen.
You've done your homework.
Well, thank you. I try. But that you had a lot of difficulty watching yourself on screen. It was very stressful for you, and that you were essentially, we all are our biggest critics, but that for you put a lot of pressure on yourself. This being your first script that you've written, as well as your directorial debut, how was it for you during the world premiere, or prior to the world premiere of your screening, when you knew it was going to be shown for 1,000 people?
Yeah, I was scared to death. I mean, I didn't, it was the premiere, you're waiting for half the audience to get up and leave within 10 minutes, okay? Those are your worst nightmares. They're just get up and walk out, because that's what tends to happen in film festivals. And as a matter of fact, at Carlo Vivari, the first screening, within 5 or 10 minutes of the film, right where we were seated, about 3 people got up and left, and I began to sink into my chair. And then a couple of them came back, but anyway, so I thought, oh, this is not good.
Right.
But that was it. And then everybody got involved with the film, and then, as I said, what happened. It's really hard to know what it is that you're doing is going to have any effect. Nobody knows. Nobody knows, really. No filmmaker knows. They do the best they can, and they have to believe that what they're making is going to find an audience, but you don't know until you do it, and that's why it's a conversation. Whatever you create, I don't care what medium you're working in, it's a conversation. You're not doing it by yourself. You're a conduit for creative energy and forces and culture and everything that comes through you. You put it into your work, but it goes out, and you get a response from the audience, and that's the conversation. They're as much the collaborator of your work as you are, because you're learning and sometimes able to shape your work according to audience response. Any
Actors out there in the industry that struggle with the same thing, what's your recommendation for them?
You have to you can't want to be an actor, you have to be an actor. It has to. It's not a choice. You have to say, I'm going to be an actor, or I'm going to die. If I can't act, I will die. If I can't paint, I will die. If I can't write music, I will die. So, because that's the only way you can possibly survive the savagery of this business, and the rejection, and the poverty, and the all the stages of it that you're going to go through. And in my case, I said, I'm not going away. When I was a young kid, I said, I want to do this, and I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. This is not, I'm not going away. And that would be my advice. It can't be a career choice. It has to be an act of survival.
David Morse had said that he felt just very privileged to be considered for this role, and just really felt appreciated for you considering him. Just please discuss what made you consider him for the role, basically.
It was a gut feeling I had about who he is. Actors, any role, any actor should be cast for who he is or she is, not who he is not. The mistake happens when you cast people and then who are not who are not right for the role. That's why casting is so important. You have to cast people for who they are. And I just got a sense of David having the right combination of a kind of danger. He's a size and a presence. Aside from the fact that he's just a great actor, but in terms of being right for the role, he has this presence, and he has a magnetism about him, and he has there's a potential for menace there, and even violence. He can draw on that. But he's also has a side that is very endearing, and I didn't want Gus to be an evil, heavy, redneck, biker guy who, I wanted a side that the audience could feel some compassion for. And David brings that in. And what I didn't know was how much David was going to make Gus, how adorable he was going to make Gus. I didn't realize he was going to do that, but he did. He ended up making him very adorable.
Pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
Upcoming projects for you.
I'm doing a television series called Boss with Kelsey Grammer that's going to premiere next week on Stars, and that's fantastic. I'm really enjoying working on that. Gus Van Sant directed the pilot, and Farhad Safiniya is the creator of it, the show. It's Chris Albrecht's first show since he left HBO. Very exciting. Loved working on it. Really well written. Great role for me. I'm going to go to India next month to do a little role in Mira Nair's next film. So I get to go to India for 10 days. I've never been.
Wonderful.
That's amazing. And I'm working on a script, and who knows, it talk to me in about 7 years, and maybe it'll be done. Maybe it'll actually get produced.
The second film festival where Collaborator is premiering, what other independent film festivals will the audience be able to see it in here in the future?
We're doing a little festival called Flyway, which is a new one in Wisconsin, which I won't be able to attend, but Ted Hope, my executive producer or producer of the film, is going to take it there. He's very excited about bringing it there and sort of helping them develop that festival. We're going to go to Philadelphia next week. We're going to be we were just in Haifa, Israel yesterday. We premiered. I couldn't make that. I wanted to go for that. Mannheim, Leeds in the Netherlands, and I'm not sure what else, but anyway, yeah.
Wonderful. Sir, congratulations on the film and best of luck for the rest of your career.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Thank you so much.